Podcast Cringe has got a new thing. Let's check out Podcast Cringe. His new video is called Brendan Schaub's Haters Are Haunting Him. Let's check out this new video courtesy of Podcast Cringe. Brendan Schaub's Haters Are Haunting Him. Let's see Wagwan. Let's see Wagwan.
You know, Rogan said something interesting. He was talking about last night we were together, and he was talking.
I feel like he stopped doing a lot of Brendan content. I wonder if he just got bored. If Podcast Cringe got bored of TFATK. I feel like I haven't seen him talk about Brendan and stuff in a while.
About some people that tend to get a little bit, they blame other people.
Oh, and then after, when we finish, we'll do this one. I just saw this too. When we finish that video, we'll go to this one, yeah? When we finish that video, we'll go to this one, which is Too Late to Try's new one. Joe Rogan tries to distract from the Epstein files cover-up. Let's go. Yeah, we'll do Podcast Cringe and we'll do Too Late to Try. Pick up the stream chat.
For their failings, or they get critical, or they get bitter. You did this. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
No, I didn't have anything to do with your not being a superstar.
Oh.
You did. Like, when was the last time you took responsibility for where you're at?
If we were smart, we would have done Patreon 10 years ago. You can regulate, so, you know, because a lot of the Reddits and the YouTube, it's super toxic. You can get rid of all that. So you have hardcore fans like, oh, thank God I can finally comment again and not get destroyed, or get made fun of.
That's cool.
That's why I would do it.
Huh.
At this point, I'm convinced that Brian Callen is low-key trolling Brendan. In basically every episode of The Fighter and the Kid these days, Brian brings up a major criticism of your boy and masks it off as a random thought he had or some conversation he was having with somebody else. We saw just a couple of weeks ago how he brought up the shorter life expectancy of athletes and had Chin pull up all the sports that Brendan's attempted over the years just to show everyone how the leading cause of death is heart disease from steroid and PED abuse.
I don't think that's true. I just think they're incredibly lacking in self-awareness. They'll talk about rape stuff, even though Brian's got a rape allegation against him. They'll talk about diddling stuff, even though Chris D'Elia's entire career nearly got destroyed by diddling and PDF allegations. Brendan will talk about how much he hates liars and stuff when he's a pathological liar. I just think they have no self-awareness. Like, they don't view themselves the way that we view them. So I don't think these are like sneak disses, right? Or like veiled attempts at criticism from Brendan to Brian. I just think he's just talking about these type of things and seeing no hypocrisy, seeing no correlation between what he's saying and the person sat beside him. I don't think it's as deep as podcast just making it.
Abuse, and of course we can't forget the sad reality of CTE and TBIs in football and MMA. Brendan was sitting there biting his nails, squinting as he read off the screen about how his days are numbered. But over the last few episodes, for some reason, Brian's been grilling Chin about his alcohol abuse and all the various health issues that he's been dealing with as a result. Naturally, Brian has this special way of bringing it up. He has the subtlety of a poet and the precision of a marksman.
So Chin's gonna die.
To be fair, I think the only reason why Brian brings it up is because Chin is a weird one. Like, he denies his alcoholism, but then he also admits it, but then he's also very delusional, but then he's also super dumb. So I think that combination is what intrigues Brian. But, oh, what the fuck is up with this guy? Like, so I think why it brings up, because it's, you know, and it kind of obviously to torture him a little bit as like a little comedic bit. But I think that's the intrigue around Chin's health. In one part, he's accepting and acknowledges that he obviously is harming himself by how much he drinks. He needs to kind of rein it back in. On the other hand, he's very argumentative and defensive about it. Same when it comes to Kratom and shit, and talks about, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, he gets super defensive about it, sort of stuff. But then on the other side, he's also just plain dumb. You know what I mean? He's actually legitimately dumb. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody told me that Chin never graduated high school. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody told me Chin didn't graduate high school. Like, he is like shockingly dumb. So I think that kind of stuff, it just intrigues Brian.
And here's the thing:
we're all gonna die.
Take your pulse right now.
Ironically, Brian's probably the healthiest person in that storage unit. And so in keeping with the theme of bullying his producer over his poor lifestyle choices and bad health, Brendan casually brought up his drinking issues because, you know, it's edgy to air your employees' dirty laundry on a podcast just for a laugh. But things quickly turned on Brendan after Brian dished out a piece of advice that seemingly applied more to Brendan than it did to Chin. This was another one of those moments where Brian Callen directed his wise cautionary cautionary tale at Chin when he was really speaking to his boy Bubba. Just quickly though, if you haven't already, check out my new channel and help.
Nailed
Seriously,
it, didn't I?
Brendan.
Man, so many people
Brendan.
messaged me after that episode, by the way.
What'd they say?
A lot of them had my side. They're just like, you just do your thing.
Yeah, they want you to
Do your
die,
thing,
Chin.
bro. Do your thing.
No, and then some
Anyone
people,
that says do your thing.
The one thing about the internet is you can count on them.
Yeah.
I appreciate their support. And they also,
Now keep it up, by the way. Keep it up. All the trolls out there, all the trolls, all the haters. Please keep it up. Please keep sending Chin DMs telling him to keep it up. I beg of you. Whoever it is out there, whether you're homeless cats, whether you're just random people, whoever you are that's DMing Chin and telling him to keep up the drinking, please do. It's so funny. Please tell him nothing's wrong. Don't listen to Brendan. You're perfectly fine. You're a fit and healthy 55-year-old. You can do what you want. They're not your dads. Like, whoever's doing that, whoever's encouraging the degeneracy, whoever's encouraging the slow creep to death, I am fucking love you. Please continue.
but then also some people said like, yeah, dude, we love you. You know, go to this rehab center in this area.
Boo!
Yeah, people that care about you or people that actually are in for your best interests
And we care
are
about
not. Yeah,
course.
that's what we're trying to
That's
help
the main
them.
thing is that people
Anyone
have
that
to
says,
realize.
"Dude, you're fine, keep doing this," is not your friend.
I think Brendan and I have been around.
That's the whole point. Yo, big up James Banks. Big up James Banks. Happy to have you here too. Big up Wingus McDingus. Wagwan, my G. Big up Jordan Ray too. Big up all the members out there. Big up all the members out there. Make sure if you want to become a member, click the link in the description. We're trying to hit 500 members by the end of the 31 days, which I'm going to be doing this time around. I think the 31 days ends on the 12th. I think if I'm not mistaken, on September. So if you want to help me get to the 500 goal, as you see per the bar down below, make sure you click the link in the description. Become a member. Click the little dollar sign in the fucking chat box. Give the membership all that fucking good shit. But shout out to my members. Shout out to Jordan Ray. Shout out to Wingus. Shout out to James Banks. We're in this. Big up James Banks. Chin's addiction is scary. Mysterious bloating. When he gets hammered and watches TV in his empty house. Yo, the bloating, right? Brother. Good point you made there. Could you imagine, right? Could you imagine drinking as much booze as Chin does? And then wondering, could you imagine people in the stream chat? Everybody in the stream chat. Please, listen to my voice. Could you imagine drinking beer, drinking whiskey, drinking wine, drinking whatever else liquor you like to drink every single day and then wondering why you're so bloated? Wondering why your stomach aches so badly. Wondering why when you press on your stomach, especially around the top area, it's really hard. You're feeling constipated. You feel like you want to go shit, but you can't go shit. But you're also feeling very bloated, very sluggish. And you wonder, you're like confused. You have no idea. You're like, huh? And it doesn't cross your mind for a single split second that it could be because of the booze. It doesn't even cross your mind. You're like, no idea. Must be a weird medical condition. Must be like a freak thing coming out of the blue. I just woke up with a bloated stomach. Like, come on, brother. Chin would be on help. If someone like Chin can't join the dots or figure out why he's got a bloated stomach, then he's beyond help. You can't help someone like Chin. You can't help him.
Long enough. And
I know how it
we've
ends.
had our own issues.
Yeah.
And so I think what happens when you get some age on you is you realize that there's a limit to what you can say and do for anybody. And we all have to be our own source of change. You know, Rogan said something interesting. He was talking about, last night we were together, and he was talking about some people that tend to get a little bit, they blame other people for their failings, or they get critical, or they get bitter. And he said, you're where you are because of you. Mm-hmm. You did this. Don't blame that. Don't then turn and look at successful people and go, oh, those guys are assholes. Like, what are you doing, man? No, I didn't have anything to do with your not being a superstar. You did.
Although this could apply to Brendan, this isn't him talking to Brendan. This isn't a sneak diss. I don't think so. Like I said before, I just think these guys have no self-awareness, no understanding, no nothing. They just, talk out their ass and shit. So I think he's just making this point without having any idea that this could also relate to his friend. They're not that careful. They're not that considerate. They're not that smart, to be completely honest. So I don't think it's a sneak diss. I just think he's sharing his opinion because Brian's spoken about fucking raping and shit and all that sort of stuff, and he's been accused of it. You think he'd avoid those type of topics, but he talks about it openly, jokes about them type of things where it's like, brother, Like, probably not. You're not probably the right person to talk about that sort of shit. And like I said earlier, Brendan kind of calls out people on their lying when he is a consummate world champion, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi level pathological liar. So yeah, I don't think it's a sink this personally. I could be wrong. Big up Wingers. I heard drinking every single day, all day, eating Korean barbecue. Oh, exactly. Makes you look like an Adonis, Baba. Exactly. I forgot about the Korean barbecue too. I forgot about his diet. Chin is surprised about his bloated stomach. Had to go to a doctor to check it out. Like, he's that surprised. He couldn't give himself a self-diagnosis. He couldn't, I don't know, eliminate some things and maybe stop drinking for a week and see how his stomach reacts to it, or cut out the fried food. He had to go to a doctor. Think about that, people in the stream chat. Think about it. Think about Chin having to go to a doctor to figure out why he's got a bloated stomach, and not once did he sit there and think, hold on, if I just cut out the booze, if I cut out the energy drinks, if I stop eating Korean barbecue for a week, or if I just stop ordering fucking fried tempura things for 1 week and see how my stomach responds, and if it's still hard, then maybe he goes, no, he went to the doctor straight away because he was confused why his belly's so hard. Like, fucking hell, man. Chin is a redact. Like, capital. Chin might be dumber than Brendan.
Mm-hmm. So why are you turning to people that have been a little bit more successful and criticizing them? And it's exactly right. It's like, when was the last time you took responsibility for where you're at, man? You know?
Yeah.
And that's an important thing to say. So
and
for
you're
me,
talking about
like,
some old salty comic.
Yeah, sure.
I know
maybe.
exactly what you're talking about.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't blame anyone for anything. I'm just like,
no, I know you don't. I'm just saying, and I appreciate that with you, but I'm saying that, you know, we're all responsible for the condition we're in one way or another. There's like, yeah, things happen in life, but you know, what are you going to do to get the out of it? And yeah, but there's some salty people out there in our community, and they spend a lot of time kind of like criticizing people that have been more successful, and it's like, hey, bro,
that's all they are.
Yeah,
they're lashing out.
Or maybe that attitude is the reason you are where you 100%. Are. Or you're not happy. Like,
what do you got, Chin?
I seriously could not watch that clip with a straight face. I was literally cringing the whole time as Brian spelled out Brendan's entire career right in front of him. Nobody is saltier and more bitter than Brendan Schaub. His whole downfall started in the first place because he tried to be someone he wasn't, thanks to his North Star Joe Rogan, who I'll get to in a moment. Don't think I missed that bit. This Mark Maron beef is out of control. But the sheer irony and hypocrisy coming from both Brian and Brendan when it comes to lecturing Chin on taking responsibility for his actions and taking steps to improve his life when they're both sitting in armchairs in some random storage unit in Austin, Texas, making podcasts to entertain their haters and a bunch of bots.
You know what's funny as well about it too? Brendan only quit drinking booze, in my humble opinion, having watched too much TFATK, having actually been a fan regrettably in the beginning. I know a lot of the law. And I know from the beginning of when Brendan became like a podcast public figure and shit, he's always struggled with addiction. He's always struggled with like self-discipline and shit. Even in the UFC days, Brendan probably looks in better physical condition with his top off. Brendan looks in better physical condition now than he did in the UFC. And he had coaches. He wasn't drinking back then. He was much younger. Brendan looks way better now than he did when he was fighting in UFC. Why? Because Brendan never had the discipline to really go that hard, to really get cut up, to really get jacked, to really fucking dial in his fucking his diet, to really dial in on his workout. But all of a sudden, when Ozempic gets invented, suddenly he turns into what he looks like now. I don't think that's a coincidence. And as we all know, the side effect of Ozempic, one of the side effects is that it curbs other addictions like smoking and whatnot, and suddenly he quit fucking boozing. But there was a period during probably the best period of TFATK a couple of years ago, where Brendan was drinking every single day, bleary-eyed on the fucking pod, bleary-eyed, a fucking tumbler full of whiskey with one ice cube, no fucking mixer, just going crazy on the Schaub'S show, slurring his words, talking about Chris, like he was fucked out of his face, and he only quit booze because of Ozempic. So for him to sit there and lecture Chin, I would not have it if I was Chin. I wouldn't have it. Don't lecture me about booze. You only quit because of fucking Ozempic. Fuck out of here. But they are right. They can't lecture. It's like the right message, wrong messenger. You know? They're right, but they're wrong.
Like, imagine being in a meeting at work and your boss randomly brings up that you're an alcoholic with health issues in a meeting about the stationery budget. Brendan has to be one of the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Stick around, because in a moment I'll pull up a clip of Brendan choking up with tears while blaming everyone else for Brian's problems. He does almost exactly what Joe Rogan was describing through Brian right there in that clip. But like I said, let's quickly switch gears for a minute, because when Brian was recalling that conversation he had with Rogan the night before, Brendan blurted out that he was talking about an old salty comedian. And we all know he's talking about Mark Maron. The Rogan beef with Mark is crazy, because it all started with Rogan being a little gossip queen and completely making up his own narrative. I know, right? That's completely out of character for a tall and funny comedian like Joe Rogan. When has he ever done that before?
Like Rogan texted me the other day.
Yeah, exactly. That's a funny thing. Rogan's the one that set this all in motion. Rogan kind of settled this in motion with the fucking Bert thing. To be fair, Mark Maron's also a bit of a pussy. Because Mark Maron was, I don't care what he says, Mark Maron was definitely talking about Bert when he made the comment about, all these hacky comedians getting specials and not good. He was definitely relating it to Bert. He was talking about everybody, but it definitely was in relation to Bert. He didn't want to admit it, but he definitely was in relation to Bert. But Rogan going and sending fucking Bert a clip of it, and that was a bit cheeky.
Some guy was talking about me on a podcast, and Rogan texted to me. He goes, "Yo, he's not your boy." And I was like,
he pays attention to that stuff.
Joe's hyper aware of weird concentric circles. Like
Bad
he doesn't care about him. He doesn't care about like
He's looking
people
out for
talking.
you.
Yeah, he does.
He cares about his boys, and like, just giving you a heads up. This guy talked. He sent it to me, and I was like, that guy. And the guy, I'm friends with the guy. I've had him on my podcast 2 times.
What wasn't about a real thing?
I love how the barometer of friendship is, I've had him on my podcast 2 times. That's so sad, isn't it? No? Imagine that being the barometer of your friendship. That's my friend. I've had him on my podcast 2 times. He's one of my friends. I said happy birthday to him on my Instagram. That's my friend. I follow him on fucking Twitter. It's like, imagine that's the barometer of how you judge friendship. I've had him on my podcast 2 times. Not that we go out of time, we've been out for drinks, our kids hang out with each other, our wives are good friends, our brothers hang out. Like, nah. The barometer of friendship is, have you been on someone's podcast, yay or nay?
Like, I was on an Instagram Live, just doing a thing, and I was rambling on, like I do. And I was talking about Netflix. And basically what I said was that Netflix has created this cash grab culture where a certain echelon of comics can just do, pop-up shows shit-faced and make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
How could that not be Bert? How could that not be relating to Bert also? Who else is he talking about then? You know what I mean? It's not only Bert, but that description perfectly encapsulates Bert. And again, he has honestly, I don't know why he even walked this back. I think he must regret walking this back. But you have every right. If you're a stand-up comedian, right? If you're a stand-up comedian that's obsessed with stand-up, who slaves at home over your jokes, who waste hours and hours agonizing over where you put the comma, where you take the breath, how your head moves, your position on the microphone, you take pleasure in stand-up. You take pride in your stand-up. You take pride in writing jokes. You're committed to comedy. You go out every single night and try to hit as many spots as possible. And you get no shine, no love. You're having to work 2 jobs to continue your fucking stand-up dream. You're allowed. You have permission to hate Bert Kreischer. Because he makes more money than you would ever make in your entire life. And all he does is take off his t-shirt. All he does is take off his t-shirt. All he does is take off his t-shirt. You're allowed to hate Bert Kreischer. I'm sorry. You're allowed. You're allowed to hate him. Yo, big up Wingers. Big up Wingers. Big up Wingers for the fucking 5 bomber. The 5 membership bomber. Big
Powerful
up Wingers.
bunch.
Big up Wingers. Big up Wingers. You're a G. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you for the 5 membership bomber. Big up Blood Clot. Big up Blood Clot Wingers McDingers.
Powerful bunch.
I'll let the notifications run through so I can play the video so you can listen to it. But big up Wingers McDingers. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Big up everyone that gets a membership. Make sure you thank Wingers. Make sure you thank Wingers if you got a membership gifted to you. Make sure you thank him. Okay? Don't be lame.
Powerful bunch.
Thank him. 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 Don't be lame and thank him. Okay. Got 2 more to go now, and then we'll continue on with the video. 2 more to go. Big up, Wingers Bedingers. Appreciate you.
Powerful bunch.
Appreciate you. Those who got membership gifted to them, make sure you thank Wingus McDingus in the stream chat. Don't be lame. Thank somebody for gifting you a membership, you filthy mofos. Let's go.
Yeah. And I wasn't talking about Bert.
Right.
Do you know who I was talking about?
Andrew.
No.
Who?
Chappelle. So I was
Dave Chappelle. Yeah.
And it's not an unknown thing.
Yeah.
He does a pop-up
It was unknown
show.
to me, but
Of course you say Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle's never going to fire back. Dave Chappelle's probably not aware. Dave Chappelle's sitting in his ivory tower, enjoying himself and rubbing his face with millions. But he was definitely talking about Bert too. Maybe you was talking about Chappelle, but he was definitely talking about Bert too. Come on, Mark Norman, man. Stand on your shit.
Yeah. But I decided just to be diplomatic and not mention names. And then somebody on Instagram was like, talking about Kreischer.
oh, that's how it started.
And then like I'm scrolling and I see him on a podcast saying like, you know, there's this guy who we were friends. You know, if he's been on my show, I've been on his show.
Yeah.
And like he said some shit. And, you know, Rogan got in my ear and said, he's not your boy and all this. And his name rhymes with, and I'm like, oh my God.
So, Joe, don't read the comments. Rogan created a beef with Mark Maron and Bert Kreischer for absolutely no reason at all. On a side note, I couldn't help but imagine what Dave Chappelle's reaction would have been if Rogan called him up to let him know that Mark had been talking shit about him. He'd probably be like, Mark who? You know, like the time Joe was explaining to Chappelle how Andrew Schultz is a comedy genius for doing his little skits in the pandemic, and Chappelle didn't have a clue who the fuck he was talking about. And so clearly, according to Brian Callen, Rogan hasn't been following his own rules about ignoring the haters and not giving them any attention, because it looks like Mark Maron's recent publicity tour for his comedy special has been keeping Joe up at night. It's so funny to me how Rogan falls for this time and time again. Remember how last year Cat Williams caused a stir by calling out Rogan on Shannon Sharp's podcast, which led Rogan to cave and invite Cat onto his podcast, which in turn gave Cat so much publicity that his comedy special went straight to the top on Netflix a month later. Now everyone's talking about Mark Maron talking shit about Rogan, and what do you know, Mark's also got a comedy special out. The whole business model of going on JRE to promote your special has been flipped on its shiny bald head. Now comedians are just calling him out for the same effect. Now that's genius. Maybe Schultz should try that instead. This is turning into the UFC, except there's no fight and they're just comedians. But I promised you earlier I'd show you a clip of Brendan doing exactly what Brian was describing earlier, how Rogan was saying he's sick of these comedians blaming everyone else for not being as successful as the top 250 are. And what do you know? Brendan was actually talking about Brian.
I'll get emotional here. It drives me, if we're being honest, leave this, Chin. Don't edit this out. I'm speaking from my heart. I know you're not going to like this.
Brian was so confused. He was just confused. Like, what? What am I not going to like? I have no idea where you're going with this. Why are you so emotional? Like, what's going on right now? Honestly, that 1,000th episode of TFATK, that 1,000th episode celebration was not a celebration, man. That was a massacre, man. That was a funeral. That was a wake. Not even a wake. That was a fucking funeral. That was horrible, man. That was so, like, I don't know why they did that way, or it turned out that way, but Jesus, that show was brutal. Brutally sad.
Look, right? It drives me nuts that Brian's at where he's at. I will challenge anyone, any comic, to go on stage after Callen. I challenge any of those comics. I don't give a if it's the Comedy Store, where Zanies, wherever they're at, and you're telling me Brian's not better than 99% of those comics.
Look at his face.
It drives me nuts that he's not up. It drives me nuts that he's not up there with those guys. It drives me nuts that he's not up there with those guys. It drives me nuts that he's not up there with those guys. He's better than 99% of them. And you want to outcast him over some bullshit That's what I don't with. That's what upsets me. So what makes me proud and not mad, I'm trying to get mad. What makes me proud is he's not going to lash out about it. Brian's cool. Brian goes to work.
Well, didn't you just say you were mad the other day, just a minute ago? What makes me proud, not mad. Weren't you just about to cry 2 seconds ago? Fucking hell, man. This is definitely Adderall shit, innit? The mood swings, man. So 1 minute is proud, next minute is mad, next minute is gonna cry. Like, Jesus. The mood swings. God damn, girl. And look at big up Sanaz, man. Bless Sanaz, innit? Bless fucking Sanaz. Sanaz made them some fucking muffins, right? I think, what do you think? I think he hated them, right? Brian hated the muffins, said they weren't cooked well or something like that, because he's obviously, Brian's a master baker or something. She made a sign, Sanaz, right? Tried to make it celebratory, but then they just turned it into a fucking massacre, a funeral of sorts. It was horrendous, that show, man.
Brian's doing the road.
Also, Sanaz played a role. Sanaz played a role in making it negative because she read out all the negative fucking comments and questions. Big up Sanaz. She read every single bad comment. Like, God almighty, mate. She didn't even try and filter them. So many brutal questions.
Trying to sell tickets. But I'll tell you right now, I don't forget. That shit's not cool with me. That's why you don't see me at those fucking places. Sorry, dude.
Okay.
Thank you.
Weird.
What else you
I
done?
don't think she could read right now.
1,000th episode.
Yeah, so
Bitch, why are you crying? In all respect, Sanaz, why the fuck you crying, girl? I know you were probably fucking him at the time, but come on, why are you crying? Relax, man. Relax. Of course, Chin feeling nothing. Chin just wants another drink. Chin feeling absolutely nothing. Chin just wants a drink. Chin just wants a fucking drink.
No, do you guys miss Brendan's side piece schnoz? Yeah, me either. I actually have some solid advice for your boy Bupper though. You see, the thing is...
Oh, look, of course Brendan's the type of person that tucks his fucking desert boots into his trousers. I knew he was that type of person. I knew Brendan was the type of guy that tucks their desert boot. You know the type of dudes that wear desert boots? And you know desert boots have that little loop at the back to help you kind of put them in. To help you to help you fucking put your foot in, right? The little loop that you hold on to. Some fucking, if you're a redact, if you put your jeans and you tuck them behind the heel so the tab sticks out. You're fucking, we can tell you're wearing desert boots. You have to put your fucking jeans on top of the desert boot so everyone can see the shape. Just put the trousers over them. We can tell you're wearing fucking desert boots. I fucking hate that shit.
B. You can't keep blaming everyone else for Brian's actions. At some point, he's got to take responsibility for where he is. You know, sitting next to a washed-up UFC power bottom with shit for brains. That's on him, bro. You can't keep blaming everyone else for the allegations that brought his comedy career crashing down. By the way, I thought the reason why you don't go to those comedy clubs anymore was because you retired to be with your family.
Yeah, back in studio, had a health scare with the baby girl. If you guys saw my social media.
Look how his mustache used to look. Look at that mustache, bro. What the fuck was that? What a weird era as well. That grooming. I think I wonder if that's depression. What a weird grooming era. Like, what the fuck is that mustache? Like, look how long it is. Look how unkept it is. Look how uneven it is on one end to the other end. Just maybe it was depression. To be fair, maybe it was depression. Maybe he literally was going through it. His kid's having health issues. Which you would imagine, again, not to cast aspersions of the baby, but I'd imagine a lot of those health issues he was having with his baby were self-inflicted because they chose to go down the designer baby route, right? Because they had IVF or something, right? That's how the baby's got blue eyes. They went down the designer baby route. They wanted to have a kid with blue eyes and blonde hair. And I'm assuming one of the negative parts of doing that sort of stuff is that your kid might have, you know, health conditions early on. So you can imagine the regret of that, feeling like your kid might die. Your career is literally dying. No wonder he kind of looked the way he did.
She went in for emergency surgery. She has trouble breathing, and she's been in and out of the hospital, like I explained on my Instagram post. I had to cancel Austin and Nashville. And usually I hate doing that stuff. It happens. But, I think this time I just don't care. That's where I'm at. I gotta be home more. I'm gonna pull back from touring so much, and I just got to be home, man. I got to. I can't miss Tigers games. Can't miss my Bosty growing up, baby girl. I can't do it anymore. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah, I've been hustling for over 12 years now.
Lies, definitely less than that. But I wonder if it was more to do with the fact that, you know, he probably was tired of going to all these like small places, like, I don't know, Idaho or something, right? Imagine flying to Idaho to perform stand-up comedy, getting there and there's like 10 people in the crowd, you know? That's going to make you feel tired. You're going to be like, fuck, you know, what's the fucking point? So that probably was the reason why. Oh, and I love how remember how this sneaker thing didn't change? It was meant to be like a big thing about, oh, I have my kicks of the day every week changing, and he just didn't change it once. Sneakers of the week, I think, or whatever it may be, and no sneaker changed throughout the entire time. I also missed the Tiger Thick whiskey bottles. They were all gone. Oh, man.
Not that I'm gonna stop doing the pods, but as far as the plane life and stuff like that, I gotta chill out. I can do spots in LA, I can do local, SoCal, NorCal, but
yeah, big up Pre-Ban 4 Loco, big up I Am Cincinnati Man in the stream chat, big up.
going international, or you know, going.
Oh my god, big up Wingus with Dingus, yeah, grabbing a slice. He did that with that he did it with that jiu-jitsu guy, didn't he? The UFC fighter, yeah. Grabbing a slice. What the fuck happened to that one? Fucking grand premiere, grand fucking closure, mate. That didn't get renewed. That show didn't get renewed. It's funny, isn't it? All the shows that don't make him money, he doesn't do. But then he also tells us that he doesn't do stuff for money. Don't you think that's funny? Brendan's always emphasizing like a good guy, or trying to repeat Rogan's words, or I don't do things for money. But then anything that doesn't make him money, he doesn't repeat. He doesn't do again. Like, you know, Calabasas Fight Companion, Grabbing a Slice, Toontown, exactly. Anything that doesn't make him money, he doesn't repeat. But then he keeps telling us money's not important. But then also when he gets money, he immediately spends it on cars. Right? He blows all his money on cars and fancy things, but then tells us, oh, I'm not worried about money. Yeah, you are. Admit you are.
Across the United States ain't happening right now. So I'm going to take a break from that and just focus on family and do my thing, man. Do my thing. So yeah, let's get into it. Enough of that.
You need to get your story straight, B. You're going round in circles. First it was family, then it was too many soy boy comedians talking shit about you, then it was because Rogan left LA and you couldn't get any stage time. What are we doing here, B? But the haters have well and truly broken Brendan Schaub, and at this point it's more pathetic than it is sad. The amount of absolute dog shit this man has spoken into a microphone, and then changed his story to make it worse, and then lashed out at people for things that he was entirely responsible for, is out of control. And instead of following Rogan's advice to take responsibility for his own actions and improve himself, his solution is to start a Patreon to get away from all the haters. You seriously cannot make this stuff up anymore.
Dude, I can't wait for the day when we don't have any reads and we can just podcast. I don't know if that day's ever coming, but if it did, that would be f***ing awesome.
We would just do podcasts. We don't have to worry about reads.
If we were smart, we would have done Patreon 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so then eventually that gets built up enough where you're making the same money you are off
You don't have
ads.
to worry
And it's
about
just
that.
all free for at the actual fans.
We are going to do
And
it. We're flirting with the idea of doing Patreon, aren't we?
I'd be down for it. We've never really done it. I'd be down for it because we've been around so long. Are we as big as we were 10 years ago? No. But the one thing we have is hardcore fans.
Yeah.
So it'd be for them.
Yes.
That's the reason I would do it.
Yep.
And you can regulate, so, because a lot of the Reddits and the YouTube, it's super toxic. You can get rid of all that. So you have hardcore fans like, oh, thank God I can finally comment again and not get destroyed.
Yeah.
Imagine having a little TFATK safe space. It's fucking hilarious. Number one, I would love to see it personally. I would love them to start a Patreon because it's a lot harder than what they think. I think they're also allergic to hard work, in my personal opinion. I think they're very lazy. They'd like to say, oh, Brendan especially likes to go on like he's this fucking hard-working guy or something, and he's always fucking pushing the fucking pedal down and doing, doesn't really do that much personally. Probably barely works 6 hours a week in totality on most of his shows. Doesn't have to set up the cameras, do the thumbnails, edit, nothing. He just sits down and chin does most of the stuff. So they don't really work that hard in the first place. With Patreon, you have to do specific content for the Patreon. You just can't take stuff from your regular videos and upload it onto there. You got to record stuff specifically. And like I've noticed, you have to have consistency. You have to be consistent on that to keep up, you know, basically keep that, you know, make sure people stay on a Patreon and don't fucking unsubscribe and shit. So that they're not able to do so. They can just about handle doing TFATK and what else? Brendan can just about handle doing TFATK and Golden Hour. Brian Callen can just about handle doing TFATK flat out. He does his own show whenever he wants to do it. So them having to pencil in an extra couple of hours every week to record an extra bonus show for the Patreon, they won't be able to keep it up. I would love to see it, because I think the Patreon would be a better reflection of their actual fan base. In my opinion, I think the Patreon would be a better representation of how many fans they actually have. They would never do it because you can't fake the numbers on Patreon. You can fake the numbers on YouTube. You can fake the numbers on Twitter. You can fudge the numbers. You can buy views. But on Patreon, you can't just buy subscribers and stuff. It is what it is. So I would love to see where the actual viewership sits, because I think most of us, and myself anyway, I predict that their total viewers that they get on their episodes is probably about 4,000, 5,000. And then Brendan goes and buys a pack of like fake views equaling 40K. But I think the actual views that they get on their videos, on their pods, is like 5,000. Of those 5,000, how many of them would be willing to part with $5 per month? That remains to be seen. But I would love to see it, because that would be an accurate representation of what their hardcore base is. It's a lot smaller than what Brendan would lead you to believe. Definitely a lot smaller. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Or get made fun of.
That's cool.
That's why I would do it.
Huh. I like that.
You'd have to give them incentives on after
one sec,
12 years of a free show, why they're paying whatever it is, $3. You'd have to add content to it. You can't just do the same show.
Right.
Where they're like, dude, we got it free for 10 years. But if you gave some like behind the scenes, you do some live shows, you give extra episodes, you do longer episodes just for the Patreon, like you give them a reason to subscribe to it, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm down.
Are you though? That's my biggest fear. Are you?
What do you mean?
You down?
Why wouldn't I be?
To commit to it? Because it's going to be a beast. It's more work than we do now.
Let's go, bro.
All right.
What do I look like?
Well.
Afraid?
What do you think, Chin?
I'm down. As long as it gives, we'll still put out free content, right? But then just adding to it, like extra stuff for the hardcores, which have been supportive since.
Yeah, extra forever. Episodes, longer episodes, Q&As just on there.
Yeah.
And the goal.
Yeah, Wingers, I'm down too. I still kick the ground, kick the wall, punch the wall that they never followed through with that show here in the UK, Brendan, and he cancelled it. So pissed. But if they did a live show over here, or if they did a live show in general, I'd definitely fly to the States for it. If they filmed a live TFATK, I would definitely fly to the States for it. Are you dumb?
Would be eventually get a point where we don't have to do any reads and we're just doing it.
And they can just enjoy the content without having. That's the biggest thing too. Which
also we don't have to pull punches.
No, yeah, just
you can play music on there, videos. Like Chin doesn't have to edit the video. No,
oh my gosh,
it's the Wild West on
really.
There.
That'd be really
just
cool.
being completely raw. I mean, you guys are pretty raw as is, but every now and then we'll have to do something because
it's on me. I'll say a few outlandish things, and Chin has to edit it out.
Not just that, but just saying names of people that you don't want to put them out there. You know, that kind of stuff.
Give me something else.
Oh, you mean current event?
Yeah.
All right. Have you guys heard this story?
This is wild. You know I love my serial killers.
That is classic.
Whenever he says cereal, it sounds like it's school about cereal, as in like cereal.
Upper right there. The real reason I'm starting a Patreon is for the hardcore fans. It's for them. But also, it's so I can hide from all the toxic haters on YouTube and Reddit. Let's get real for a second here. The real reason why Brendan's never started a Patreon is because without ad reads, there's no reason to have a paid subscription, because who's going to pay for all the bots? I'm being serious. Think about it. They start a Patreon, they buy a bunch of fake memberships to boost the numbers, but because there are no ad reads, they can't offset the cost of all the bots. So what would be the point? There's no one to fool. And for the life of me, I cannot understand why these so-called comedy podcasters insist on having production meetings in the middle of a podcast. Tom and Bert do it as well. Guys, nobody wants to hear that shit. Have a conversation behind closed doors, make a decision, and then announce it.
I'm just surprised when they have these conversations in front of camera it sounds like it's the first time they've had them. Like, they discussed moving to Austin, Texas in detail on cam. Like, they had no, like, I think Chin was literally, he wasn't really in the dark. He was just probably not paying attention. But it felt like, at least with Brendan and Brian, they discussed the main chunk of them moving to fucking Austin on the show, on air. Like, don't they have like a group chat? Don't they have like a group aim? Like, nothing. Like, why are they discussing all this stuff? Like, why is it the first time they've ever heard of anything concerning Patreon or whatever on the show live? It's like, fucking hell. No one's asking you to do like a proper rehearsal or pre-show production meeting. No, just like, I don't know, discuss some inner workings, discuss some of the business stuff privately so you can kind of iron out the details, you know, in private. You guys have to do it in front of an audience and you can maybe ask some hard questions, get the answers that you need. Nah, let's just do it all on air in a very clunky way, in a very awkward way, in a very passive-aggressive way. Bizarre. But anyway, that's them, not us. That's them, not us. Big up to Podcast Show, said Brendan Schaub. Big up Podcast Cringe. That's the channel. You see the channel right there. There's a title. Check him out. He's fucking great. Check him out. Next, we're going to do this video, courtesy of 2 Days to Try. New video, courtesy of 2 Days to Try. It says Joe Rogan tries to distract from the Epstein files cover-up. So let's try that one. Let's see what he's saying. Big up 2 Days to Try. Big up everybody watching now. If you're still watching, if you just joined recently, I won't be able here for too long, but make sure you smash the like button if you're here. Smash the like button if you're here.